we're reaching a point with paranormal where are we now disrespecting history and disrespecting spirits that may be there, disrespecting the dead in some way? Hello everyone, my name is Florio. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Either way, it is good to have you here. Just gonna do a quick and dirty little intro and outro because I decided to split the Sam and Colby videos into 3 different categories. We have our Urban X stuff, which was the last video posted. This video here, we're gonna talk about witches and the video that they did of a lot of misinformation about witches. And then the last one will be the Smurls. So let's just make this a short intro and let's get into looking at the video that they did for summoning the devil. The night we summoned the devil.
Today we are at the farmhouse at the top of Pendle Hill, also known as the most paranormally active spot in all of the United Kingdom.
It's known for the famous deadly witch trials of 1612.
But in order to get the answers of what actually happened at these witch trials, tonight we are going to be summoning the actual devil himself.
So their location choice is Pendle Hill. If you're not familiar with it, there was a Pendle Hill witch hunt, witch trials that happened there. The thing is, at all these witch trials and all these places like Salem and Pendle Hill and places where people kind of went into a sort of delusional panic at the time, these women and these people weren't witches. They were Christians. And if anything, close in Europe, people that were called cunning folk, and they were really just like herbalists, midwives, things like that. So they may have practiced some old pagan stuff to heal people, but like doing a lot of the pagan stuff was not as big as people like made it out to be. These people were mainly Christians. So the Pendle Hill situation, I don't think any of them are witches. I will be doing a deep dive on Pendle Hill as well. And I think that they were all Christians. There was no witches, but at best, the girl who the first was accused and started the whole thing, her grandma or aunt or something was like a herbalist, a medicine woman. If anything, I could say, okay, maybe she was pagan, but chances are, because this is during the King James era, chances are everyone there is practicing Christian. If you don't show up to church, you would have been shunned from the community anyway. So yes, she's a medicine woman, and at best she's doing some pagan practices, which honestly was just herbalism and things like that, naturopath things and midwifery. And so at best, that is the only one I would say is maybe a witch to my definition of witch, which is pagan. But their definition of witch was people who were worshiping Satan and demons, and they were doing the devil's bidding. And none of those people were doing that. So just keep in mind that they're doing all this at a site where there were people that were hurt and accused of being witches. A bunch of people died. They even at one point forced this, like, I think 4 or 6-year-old girl, the daughter, to accuse people of being witches. And they forced her and coerced her into doing all this so that she was essentially sentencing her family to death. You know, it was very traumatic area, and this whole like story is just so sad. I feel like they also don't really give this enough caring and empathy around it, but maybe it's just because like I'm pagan and I've been a witch my whole life, and we just look at these stories differently than other people. And there's obviously misinformation during the witch trials, and there's going to be misinformation in this video too. This video that they made is the reason why I decided to make my video here. I am a witch. This video really, I found it really offensive and it upset me a lot. So I'm gonna take a few moments here to talk quite a bit about witchcraft, Satanism, the history of all this stuff, and the misinformation and the demonization of witches. If you don't want to listen to all this, then you can feel free to skip past it. I'll put a timestamp or a chapter. This is the main reason why I did make this video, and I have a lot to say on this topic. So hopefully you stick around and listen to what I have to say. So for this video, I do have a lot of thoughts. I might watch this more, like we'll do some footage and we'll watch together. I feel like there was a lot of disrespecting going on about witchcraft and not specifying the difference of different types of witches, because not all witches do stuff with the devil or demons. A lot of us don't believe in any of that stuff. And there's a difference between someone who's like a Luciferian and a Satanist and someone who's like Wiccan or someone who's just pagan or someone who's just a witch. Like it felt really tone deaf the way it was, because like witches already have it bad enough in history books. We don't need to be spreading further stuff that they work with the devil constantly. And it was just, I don't know, the people that they had there too, and the lady who also channeled the devil. Like, it just seemed ridiculous. There was stuff that she didn't know the words for that she should know the words if she's a witch, like familiar. She didn't know what a familiar is. Like, she didn't know what to call a certain thing a familiar. And just to preface everything, I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but witchcraft it differs between different people, different cultures. It's very personal beliefs. Everyone practices differently. Everyone has different deities. Some don't even use deities. Like, I don't use deities. And there's different kinds of practitioners. And there's some that consider themselves more like working with the devil. And they're not really, the old world pagan witch. They're more like the magician witches, like from the Ars Goetia. And that's sort of the Pythian priestess that they work with. She's a little bit more that. She's a little bit more of the Ars Goetia magician, a little bit of white witch, but she does a lot of Ars Goetia stuff. So she's kind of working off Renaissance Christian beliefs. And that's saying a lot of these witches that do stuff with Satan and demons, they're working off Christian beliefs. Whereas like the majority of us witches aren't Christian, but there's a new rise of Christian witches nowadays, which is fine. And like I said, everyone practices differently, but I just feel like they should have said that in this video, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about witchcraft. And there's a difference between someone who decides to work with the devil and demons and tries to kind of go a Christian route with their witchcraft, and someone who follows old world pagan Celtic, beliefs, right? It is a big difference between the two. Just them spreading this misinformation about witchcraft, it demonizes a whole group of people. Point out too, and I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place with this, and this is going to be a bit of a chaotically edited video. We're going to talk about the history of witchcraft in like a full deep dive video at some point. It is on my to-do list. But they also do perpetuate negative stereotypes about Satanism as well. The way Satanism is practiced in Luciferianism, there's like a bunch of different versions of people who do stuff with Satan or the devil. The idea is like the devil isn't in danger. Like, it's more about having a belief system or ritual that is the opposite of Christians. And that's sort of what it all kind of started and is based around. There's more nuance and there's more versions of it, and different people have different things. And even like, I don't know all the versions of it, because I'm more like old world pagan is where I've done the majority of my sort of belief system and stuff like that. So hopefully making sense. And if anyone is watching this that's a Satanist or Luciferianism or whatever different version, feel free to comment as well below too. And I think mainly the way that they should have done this, I guess, is that they should have prefaced this whole thing like I'm doing right now and explain that every witch practices differently, every Satanist practices differently. There's different versions of it out there. It's like, the difference between, I don't know, I guess it's like Protestant and Catholic, things like that. Like, there's different versions like that. There's so many different practices of occult practitioners like that, and so many different religions that are built on this stuff. And just, there's nuance to everyone's decision. So we all have our own views and everything on it as well, and our own way that we practice. And I think that they should have just made that really clear. And maybe they don't know that, and that's fine, but maybe the witches that work with them, that keep working with them, should probably tell people this. They should probably do an intro or something like this and preface this. Okay, so I'm talking a lot, I'm rambling a lot, but like I said, I'm trying to not show too much footage too. I'm trying to split it up with me talking a lot so that we don't have to deal with as much copyright crap. Okay, let's jump into this video here.
What's up, guys? It's Sam and Colby.
Today, we are at the farmhouse at the top of Pendle Hill.
It's known for the famous deadly witch trials of 1612.
A lot of people online are complaining too that they're using AI for their art. They're using AI for the stock footage. It says AI. And they make like probably like $1 million a month, to be honest, on AdSense and things like that, not to mention their merch and everything else that they make money off of. They have enough money to pay artists to do this stuff for them, and yet they're using AI instead. They use it in the last couple episodes that we also covered too, but I just wanted to cover here because I forgot to mention it before. All this stuff is AI. All this like stock footage stuff and these creepy faces and all that, that's all AI.
Tonight, we are going to be summoning the actual devil himself.
Tonight, we are going to investigate a secret 400-year-old farmhouse at the top of the infamous Pendle Hill. For thousands of years, Pendle Hill was a sacred burial place and used for powerful rituals. Now this hill has deep connections to witchcraft and the devil himself because it was once the home of the most famous witch trials in European history.
A lot of the witches that practice in Europe are not anything to do with devil and demon. A lot of them are actually old, like pagan, Celt, things like that. So I highly doubt that there's that many devil worshipping witches that show up here. If there's any that show up here for ceremony and things like that, which they do in Europe quite a bit, it's usually like Celtic and pagan related. And they usually go to these places and do these things to honor the memory of those who passed because of the witch trial insanity that happened over hundreds of years. And just to fact check this as well, I don't think there's tons of witches showing up at Pendle Hill and just doing a bunch of stuff. It's probably not true. So here, like a lot of modern day witches are just interested. I think it's something like Salem. Like they might go to the area to honor the memory of those who passed, because that's usually what happens in Salem as well. But there isn't tons of people showing up there and doing constant ceremonies and things there. People visit it. Obviously, it's like a tourist attraction at this point. And it looks like the Quaker movement started there as well. So modern day Quakers go there for pilgrimage. Quakers are not witches, though. A lot of ghost hunters are going there. Obviously, it's been on TV a lot. So yeah, there's probably more ghost hunters that go there than witches that go there to do ceremonies. Like, it's rare that witches do that. You'll see different celebrations happening like Stonehenge and stuff, but I've never seen anything like at Pendle Hill at that level. So I don't think it's really happening. So yeah, just to fact check that, I really highly doubt there's just witches showing up there constantly.
Wow. This is the farmhouse right here?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a dark energy, isn't it? Unsafe, I think is the best way to describe it. I've come out a few times while waiting just because there's noises going on. It's horrific in there.
Already?
Already. I was just sat on the couch, literally just doing some bits on the laptop, and I don't know how.
So this person, he has a My Haunted Project shirt on. It looks like a place where you can arrange ghost hunts. So they're running My Haunted Hotel and My Haunted Pendle Hill in the UK. Didn't My Haunted Hotel get busted for like faking stuff? I can't remember, but isn't it bad? Like, didn't they fake a bunch of stuff? Wasn't there like a ton of fake stuff? Beardo, I think, debunked them. So that's questionable then. Anything that happens in this house, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. Like, I think they were faking stuff. I don't know. If you guys remember, put it in the comments below and let me know.
Nice. Welcome, Nikki, back to the channel. You're basically a medium now, Nikki, right?
I mean, I'm getting there.
This girl was on like one episode with them, and now she's going to become a medium. And this is how we end up with Amanda Mackey and then all the other stupid mediums and Selena Spooky Boo that work with them too. Like, it's ridiculous.
In 1603, King James I took the throne and had one main obsession: witch hunting. This means that everybody and their mother's main goal was to bring a witch to trial to appease the king. Authorities would torture people, mainly women, into confessing their ties to the devil. And if they were found guilty, they would be hanged.
The most famous of these witch trials was at Pendle Hill in 1612.
Yeah, so this is all like the King James era. This is when demons were kind of invented. The Ars Goetia was written around the 1600s, as well as the Pseudomancari Daemon, the demon dictionary. This was all around that time, because before that, Christians didn't really do anything with demons, and there wasn't really a devil or anything like that they were worried about. This kind of happened with the King James stuff, and then demons who were in like Jewish lore then started showing up on Ars Goetia, and then they were saying that it was part of whatever. And then Christians started following demons. Demons aren't really in the New Testament that much. Like, I think like the devil's in there, but there isn't like demons. There isn't like the Ars Goetia demons. Like, those are old world demons who, some of them were like Babylon and Canaanites and things like that. Like, this is like old world stuff, but it got brought up and like sort of a big fandom of it started in the King James era, because the King James era, King James Bible. This is when there's different versions of the Bible out and about. And he's the one that consolidated them all into the King James Bible. And then this is when the demon craze started. And then this is when witch stuff started. So it's like these people weren't witches that were worshiping demons. They weren't calling upon all these demons. In fact, all this like demon books and things it became like a satanic panic kind of deal. I have a demon series that I need to get back to. I know I've been slacking on it, but I will link the playlist as well. And I go into the history of demons, and then I'm going through every demon like one at a time. I know it's going to take us a while, but we'll get there. I'll link it though.
But tonight we have exclusive access to a secret farmhouse that was actually around during those famous witch trials.
And then they're talking like they have access to a secret farmhouse, like it's a little secret. But if you look on like that company is doing ghost tours at this location. So I don't know. I guess secret is in like they hadn't opened it yet, but it's really not that special because it's on their page that they're offering tours. And just to add about this location, I did speak with Beardo about these guys and the location, and apparently they don't publicly make it known where they're taking you to. You meet them at this like inn, and then they like drive you to the location. So the thing is Beardo mentioned, and some other people in my research team, like Tracy and stuff mentioned, because they're in the UK, that this doesn't look like Pendle Hill. This looks like they're nowhere near Pendle Hill. Now, they do mention in the video that it's a house that was around during Pendle Hill, and that they mentioned some elsewhere in the video, too, that the house is like a neighbor or something, or the house was a neighbor to the neighbors of the family. And considering everyone had like farms and stuff back then, we could be talking about long distances of land here. So this likely isn't anywhere near Pendle Hill as well, just to also add this in because it was brought up by a few people that I know in the UK. So they don't think that this is anywhere near Pendle Hill.
Those trials have led to the spirits of the
See this here, this is AI.
Pendle Hill witches haunting this very building. Although the current owners were trying to keep this discreet, the paranormal activity got so intense that they can't even keep it a secret anymore.
This house we're in right now.
The current owners are the My Haunted Project, who runs My Haunted Hotel, and they're running My Haunted Pendle Hill. Like, it feels, ye old King's Head Inn. I feel like they're the current owners, right? Because they're offering tours at it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it.
Location will give us the best chance possible to get to the real story of the Pendle Hill witches through the spirits themselves. Were they innocent, or were they actually making deals with the devil?
What's that?
I'm going to speed this up to 1.25 speed just to kind of go through it faster.
Earlier tonight, we went to a person named Alice Nutter's statue because she was one of the victims who got hanged in the witch trials. We basically summoned Alice Nutter to come help us tonight, so hopefully she does follow us. Is this the dog that the devil dog?
Oh my god! Basically, the story of the initial witch that got into these specific witch trials of 1612 was a little girl.
This massive witch trial all started with a 14-year-old girl named Allison Device. She was denied as a beggar and then cursed a man named John Law.
And when she put the curse on the guy, a dog that came out was supposedly the devil. It was an all-black dog with like fiery eyes, and immediately gave this guy a stroke.
Like a hellhound.
Like a hellhound.
This little guy.
Maybe not this
He looks
guy.
nice.
But it's weird that they're drawing dogs.
However, John Law told local authorities who took Allison to trial. And under pressure, they made Allison admit to being a witch and incriminate her family. So quickly, the Device family all turned on each other and confessed to witchcraft.
Each of the witches that confessed to actually doing witchcraft were summoning the devil through a dog.
Through dogs, yeah.
All of them were talking through hellhounds.
Mm-hmm.
Many believe that some, if not all, of these witches were innocent. But what's certain is that this traumatic event has made Pendle Hill one of the most famous and paranormally active locations in all of the United Kingdom.
I just find that whole intro to be very, it's misinformation, and it's a little bit like disrespectful. They're like, most people believe that they weren't witches. Yeah, they weren't witches. So back then, there used to be a rule where, a Christian thing, where if someone came and asked for food, if they asked for money, if a beggar came by, you were supposed to actually give them something because it's the right thing to do. It's a Christian thing to do. And if you don't, then the devil will come and get you. And then this got perverted into this whole like, well, then the beggar is a witch then who's like summoning the devil. It's like, that was never part of the original thing anyway. But point is, these were just Christian people. This was someone who was down on their luck and struggling as well, you know, and just wanted some food. They weren't witches. They got turned into these whole, I don't know. I just don't really like the way they introduced it, as they're talking as if these women were actual witches that were worshiping the devil when they weren't. And then the witch that they bring in to summon the devil for them, she should have corrected them on this too. So just to explain this, think logically. The only thing close enough to being a witch back then was cunning folk, and they were practicing maybe some healthcare, herbalist stuff, midwifery, things like that. And they may have done some old ceremonies, some old Gaelic or Irish stuff that, is still around and is still around to this day. That would have been a real witch. But what they were accusing people of and what people died for was they were accusing them of being Satan worshipers. And nobody was doing that back then. Nobody was worshiping Satan. So there were no witches according to what the church thinks a witch is. And then Sam and Colby bring in a witch who is pretty much what the church thinks a witch is. Like, she is the embodiment of the whole misunderstanding and misinformation crap that the church made up. Like, I don't know. It's just frustrating to watch this. And I know that there are witches out there who are like this now. Like, this is a practice and it's been born out of the church. But I think it's important to explain that to the person who's hired you to come do stuff. Like, I think it's important to just explain the different kinds of witches, and that the ones at Pendle Hill, there would be no way that they would be a Satanist witch, because that nobody was that back then. Satanism and the ability to practice it, and even just the idea to practice it, is very new. It was not practiced back then. There's this like new breed of witches I've noticed. It seems like, and from what the stories they tell, is that they were Christian and then they deconstructed from the Christian religion, chose instead to become a witch, but they decided to become a Satanist and a witch. And they're confused about what witchcraft actually is. And they're following witchcraft based on what the church says a witch is, and not based on what the history of witches are. This is the kind of witch who would look at the witch trials and say, oh yeah, no, those were real witches, but they weren't. And that's, it's perpetuating incorrect information and a myth. And these women died, this whole family died for like, just out of panic. And it had nothing to do with witchcraft. No one really practicing witchcraft back then. It was just pagan practices. And that wasn't witchcraft. It was just old world religion stuff. And even that, very rare were there people doing that. I know there was like there's a whole side of the witch trials that has to do with people. The church was trying to steal land from women, especially women who had their own money and had their own land. Their husband passed, or whatever it is. They had too much power. So then people would accuse them of being a witch. Just if your neighbor didn't like you, they'd accuse you of being a witch to get rid of you as well. There was a lot of women who passed, and a lot of it was trying to take power away from women who had any slight bit of power. And then there was some place like Pendle in Salem who that was just complete hysteria. Like that had nothing to do. I mean, it might have started off with some motives at one point with Salem especially, but then it got really out of control, right? And it just turned into hysteria, and it wasn't like calculated. Like a bunch of the other witch trials were kind of calculated by the church. So anyway, I just feel like they brought this witch in and she didn't explain any of the real history. And that I find to be very disrespectful. And I don't really trust her as a witch because she didn't bother to correct anything that was in this video. So I don't know.
I want to invite all of the people that were hanged for being a witch into the house to tell their story, because there was actually two families that were feuding against each other, that were accusing each other of witchcraft.
Now, many families were known witches in the town, and among those, the Device family had beef with the Chattox family.
This became a slippery slope because as an accused witch, one of the only ways to save yourself was to accuse other witches.
So, needless to say, the Device family immediately accused the Chattox family of being witches as well. On top of that, neighbors tried to intervene, and they were also accused. This all led to a total of 12 people being put on one trial.
All of them pretty much confessed to being witches and summoning like devil dogs and things like that and killing people, but we don't know if that was true or not.
I just find this whole episode very disrespectful. The reason that they confessed is because they were torturing people. They also confessed in the hopes that they wouldn't get executed. That if they confessed and then renounced the devil and prayed to God, because that was an option in the witch trials, and then they tell, the trials and everyone who the other witches are in town, then they would promise them that they wouldn't get executed, but then they ended up executing them anyway. All of this is this is all bullshit. They are trying to make it seem like these are actually real witches, and these are women and families who were worshiping the devil. Like this whole layout here, this whole I don't even know my words right now, but like this When I watched this episode the first time, like, it pissed me off. I really, really hate this misinformation crap. And especially coming from like guys who know nothing about this religion, about this like background, about what these people went through in witch trials all across Europe and even in North America as well. This is just, it's just spreading more misinformation and misunderstanding about what happened.
So that's what we really want to get to the bottom of tonight.
Yeah, legend says that all these people were tortured. So imagine you're getting tortured and the people are like, say you're a witch, say you're a witch, say you're a witch. Like they might have been wrongfully saying it just to stop the torture.
In this witch trial alone, that
Colby says it there, but like Sam, he started the whole thing with, well, we don't know. No, we know. We all know that they were tortured until they said it. Everyone knows this. They weren't real witches. Like everybody knows this. When I say everyone, like everyone in the paranormal community, everyone who does ghost hunting, everyone who done any occult research and such. But when you have like new audiences who are young, don't know any better, or people who only have heard about witches through the church, this kind of content confuses them and causes perpetuation of negative things about witches and our history. Like, don't even entertain the fact that they might have been devil worshippers, because they weren't, and they died for no reason.
But it is weird because a lot of them did say they would murder people, curse people, and practice witchcraft. There might be some truth to it. There might not.
Are they innocent or not?
Let's figure it out. We are going to be inviting all the spirits of the witches who died.
See, even like Sam's like, we're inviting all the spirits of the witches who died. They weren't witches. Stop spreading this. Stop like maintaining this stupid narrative.
Firstly, we'd like to invite Old Demdike,
Elizabeth, James, and Allison Device.
Old Chaddocks.
Anne Redfern.
Jane and John Bulcock.
Alice Nutter.
Mold Heels.
And Jeanette Preston.
We invite these spirits to communicate with us tonight.
1, 2, 3.
We're going to be using the REM pod right here.
Okay, they're going to set up all the BS gadgets and blah, blah, blah. All these gadgets are literally BS, and they've all been debunked, and this isn't any proof of anything, and they're just going to work whatever narrative they want with editing and whatever. You know, all this stuff with ghost hunting is so stupid at this point. In this series that I'm doing, I'm skipping through all the ghost hunting stuff because we all know the gadgets and editing just make it all BS. I'm not here to discuss the ghost hunting or debunk the gadgets. I'm here to discuss the stories and the history and the misinformation that they're perpetuating.
There have been witches in this area for hundreds of years that all work with the devil, so we decided to bring one out to help us connect to this dark energy.
Guys, we do not recommend and actively warn against doing anything like this.
It is time. This is Roxanne. You deal with both light energy, but also primarily dark energy.
I try to find light in the dark, basically, if that makes sense.
Are you familiar with the 1612 witch trials?
Yes. I have a mixed view on it. I think some of the women that were here were witches. I think some were innocent. That kind of tradition was passed on, kind of paved the way for witches like me, if that makes sense. These wise women, these cunning folk were religious people. So they did used to go to church, and that was their holy space as well. When that all started to kind of happen, they were shunned away from the church and taken away from their holy spaces. That's where the devil kind of comes into it. The idea of the devil becomes the protector of these people that were shunned away and shut away.
No, like cunning folk were honestly just people that were doing old world medicine, midwives, things like that. They might have been doing like a love like spell or something here and there, but what they would do is like make like a corn doll and wrap like a bow around it or something. Like this is old like Gaelic traditions and stuff like that. And that was like maybe some of them did that, but the majority of them were pretty much healers and medicine women, like the local medicine woman. Them being shunned away from the church, if they get accused of being a witch, they immediately got thrown in jail, and then on trial, then they would get killed. Like there was no time for them to go through an existential crisis of their faith and turn to the devil. That just didn't happen. And if they were being accused of being a witch, if they were being accused then shunned, then they weren't a witch to begin with, because the devil didn't have a chance to get to them because they didn't get shunned from their religion yet. Like this whole reasoning that this chick is coming up with is ridiculous. I don't know where the hell she's getting this crap from, but like they should not have people like this. They have 15 million subscribers, and this is the type of witch that they decide to platform. Like this is just absolutely this is complete bullshit. This is complete bullshit.
If there's any way to truly understand what these Pendle Hill witches were dealing with, it's to go directly to the source.
We brought Roxanne here today because we want to do something that we have never done on the Sam Colby channel ever before. Not only are we going to be asking for protection tonight at the Pendle Hill farmhouse, but we are going to be summoning the devil himself.
Have you successfully summoned the devil before?
I work with the devil all the time.
Is there a specific name for this devil, or do you just encompass it as the devil himself?
So I personally encompass it as the devil because I'm still kind of keeping that idea of taking the church names for it and church symbolism and using that.
So essentially, it sounds like she's one of these Christian witches. She started off Christian or Catholic or Protestant, whatever, and then she decided to become a witch, and all of her witch stuff is based off of the Renaissance 1600, like Ars Goetia thing, which she did say she's a witch and magician. She's working with the Ars Goetia. She's one of these witches that spread a lot of misinformation.
We're not going to call him to be here or stay here. We're just calling him to ask him to allow us to do this one. Because a lot of the energies here, spirit-wise, are angry because of what happened. Because a lot of them were innocent, and even the ones that weren't innocent were angry about it, you know?
I'm still like back and forth. I do want to really do it, but I also am worried.
That's
really.
a sign, by the way.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
About what?
Moths.
Oh, it landed on
Moths.
Sam's
Like a
face.
death omen?
Just hit me in the
No,
forehead,
not
bro.
necessarily. It's kind of like, for me anyway, that's like he's here. He's kind of here already. I've got you. You guys are going to be okay. So.
Okay, I think I'm gonna.
Okay, this moth thing is stupid. They have big camera lights, and then they're also lighting candles and things like that. Moths go to light, and as she moves through this ceremony, whatever thing, she then tries to say that moths are like her familiar. It's when she sees moths, it's her sign that she's made the connection with the devil, but she doesn't know the word familiar, and she doesn't know how to explain it properly, which then makes me question how much of a witch she is versus just being a Satanist, ex-Catholic or Christian who's basing all of their practice off what church has taught them that witches do.
If I'm not mistaken, we can have an actual conversation with the devil.
I'm going to try to channel. It doesn't always go smoothly. The way that I usually do it with him is it comes through writing. So I'd sit and I'd just write what I feel like he's trying to say to me.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Air out.
I'm thinking randomly.
Sure.
Okay, cool. I'll be right back real quick.
Okay, I'm going to skip through this because, again, I don't want to do too much footage. Colby and Sam are doing their heart-to-heart skit that they usually pre-plan. This always seems like very rehearsed. And he's like, I'm Christian. Don't do this. And I'm worried for your soul, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to skip past this part.
We're going to be calling on the devil, who's known as the father of witches, to give permission, to give blessings. And
He's the father of witches now? Okay, there's a goddess of witches, Hecate, and she was around before Christianity, but witches have been around since before Christianity, before the devil existed, since before Jewish, like, lore and folklore was around. Well, I don't know. It might have been close to the same, but they were very far away from each other geographically, because this is ancient Greece we're talking about, right? Like, witches were around during ancient Greece, and there was a goddess of witches, Hecate, and this father of witches crap. Like, this is like Bible. This is Ars Goetia, Christian witches who are built out of coming and deconstructing out of the church. And they're not old world pagan witches, which if any of these women at Pendle Hill are cunning folk, they are old world pagan witches. They're not these new age Christian Satan witches, whatever, that are now showing up in our circles here.
just take a minute, try and clear your mind from like anything else going on, like, oh my God, is this a safe idea or whatever? Just clear your mind completely. Try and be as blank as possible from.
So normally when you do like ceremonies like this as a witch, you would be inside the circle because the circle protects you from whatever you're doing and whatever you're summoning and whatever like sort of thing that you're working on. Everyone who's outside the circle is more at risk of something happening to them. The fact that they're all outside of the circle doesn't make sense. Like the way that she's running this whole thing doesn't make sense. Watch the candles. It's very windy outside. They're outdoors. Let's remember this.
Okay. We're going to walk around the circle twice and not out loud, but in your head, if you feel comfortable with it, because I'll be doing it enough for everyone. You're going to say, through the dark, we find light.
These turn off.
Oh, that might be a sign. Hold on. That felt angry, but not necessarily from him. It might be from something else.
And that's the thing, like if you're a witch, you feel like there's something else there and whatever, like you're supposed to be inside the damn circle. The circle is there for protection. And I know there's people that don't believe in any of this stuff. Like this is my belief system, my religion I come from, and you know, we practice old world paganism. If you're practicing any of this stuff, if you're a witch, you're supposed to be inside the damn circle.
So what we need to do now is we want to light up the central bowl. So the central bowl is our central piece. The red candle in there is his offering candle. Once that's lit up, that kind of brings the whole thing alive. So what we want to do is we want to light the path towards him if he's being represented by the red candle. So light from the outside inwards.
And this whole like design, the way she's doing the candles and blah 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 and all the bowl, she just designed this in her way. And every witch can design a ceremony ritual however that works for you. It's not like a one size fits all, other than things like being inside the circle, because it's about protecting yourself from any things or energies that might be trying to attack you while you're vulnerable, while you're working and communing with, you know, the spirits and the earth and whatever, in her case, the devil. Even if she was following the Ars Goetia, you're still supposed to stand in the symbol. Like, you're supposed to have a symbol around you to protect you. And you're supposed to have a symbol where the demon's going to get trapped to do your bidding. Even if she's practicing from the Ars Goetia, she's still not doing it right.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring him into it now by lighting this, which this candle represents him.
And
so,
him meaning
the devil, yeah.
Okay, so someone pointed out here, this candle's not lit right now. We're going to see Sam with it unlit, but it looks like it was burned, and then he tries to light it again. And some people are asking, like, how many takes did they do? Because if you're actually practicing like a full ritual and ceremony, you're not supposed to stop to do another take. You're supposed to keep the flow of it going. Stopping to do different takes defeats the whole purpose of like this being a religion, because then you're just trying to commodify it, which I mean, they're commodifying it anyways, but you know what I mean.
I'm gonna ask if you want to light it, because something is telling me that Sam should light it.
It's not really that.
It ties into what I was saying over there. There's something about you.
There's something about me that
connects
me to the devil.
Yeah. Light it, hold it in your hand for a moment, close your eyes, and your own way just say, like, I thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We mean no disrespect. So whatever way feels right to you. Once you've done that, hold it tight in your hand, feel it in your hand like this, and raise it up until you feel like it's ready to come down. And when you do, put it into the bowl. Then we'll start the next section, which is doing the offerings. Go with it, you got this. Don't worry about it.
You see, it was already lit, so like they did a couple takes of this.
Don't worry about it. Let go of everything in your mind.
Thank you for letting us communicate tonight, allowing us to talk with the spirits and understand and get answers about the witch trials that happened over 400 years ago. Please open up the communication and help us. We mean no disrespect. We just need your help.
That's the sign of him.
The moth just came on.
That's my devil's sign. See?
Whoa.
That's my devil sign. First of all, you would call it a familiar. Second of all, look at the bright lights of the cameras. Like, trying to work with cameras at night like this and not night vision, they have crazy lights going, and all the candles too. Moths go to light, they go to flame. That's like what they do. A moth is just being a moth in this moment. It's nothing mystical happening. And if this happens with her all the time, well, look how many candles she uses for her different rituals. She's very candle focused, so of course it's going to attract moths to it. Like, it's just, this is so stupid, it's common sense, you know?
And then we step out of the circle.
How you feel?
That was pretty intense.
Okay, and then she gets them to step out of the circle again. You're supposed to build the circle as you're starting, and it's like a protection, and then you stay in the circle and you draw it and you set it all up and you all stay in the circle. So now she's getting people to go in the circle, out of the circle, in the circle, out of the circle. This is not the way that you kind of do this stuff, because the circle is supposed to be a circle of protection. Like, her staying in it will protect her, but then everyone who's out of it, it puts them at risk, right? But I think what she's trying to do is mix witchcraft maybe with the Ars Goetia. Whereas Ars Goetia, you're supposed to stay actually in a symbol as well to protect yourself. And there's another symbol where you're supposed to trap the demon that you're calling upon. And they go in that symbol and you stay in your symbol. But again, you have people here who took part in the ritual, in the summoning, and you're telling them to step out of the symbol, out of the circle. It puts them at risk. Like, this is where I just don't really believe that she understands witchcraft. This is like, I don't know.
Called out to him, we've lit everything up for him, we've brought this to life, so now we're going to make offerings. But we end with that over there, which is the petitions to each of them, the devil, and the petitions to the spirits to you.
And see, now she's out of the circle now. Like,
I hear with the wine. You're here with the feathers, and Sam's here with the picture. So, because everything with the devil is more backwards, we're going to go anti-clockwise. We're going to start on your side. Everything is symbolic of an offering to him. And then what you want to do is you're going to take one at a time. It doesn't matter what order you're going to take, and you're going to sprinkle a little bit in. This is a mixture of herbs that he likes. This is graveyard dust. And Sam, you're going to come into the center and you're going to take the spark candle and you're going to drip wax over the frame in any way. It doesn't need to be any order. When it feels like it's the right time to stop, and then return it like to the middle of the bowl.
And like this bowl and offerings and things like that, this is part of normal witchcraft ritual. It's also, I just noticed Sam's pants. Why does he have buttons all over his pants? It's freaking weird.
Sometimes that happens, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be that you're just in the moment. And sometimes it's a good thing because it's almost like purging like what's not okay in you right now, which might be good for what's going on. So there's a jar of bones there. So you're going to sprinkle the bones into the central jar and then put as much as you think is right into the central bowl as well.
Oh,
See?
Moth is back. What the hit me right in the head?
Well.
Yeah. Jeez.
The camera that was down at the bowl, the light on the camera was on. The moth was going to the light.
Moth like went into the wine.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's possibly symbolic of like accepting the offering, which I know seems a bit morbid because the moth's like gone. But
I'm good to do this, yeah?
yeah, go for it. Whatever's happening right now between the four of us is
Again, moths are dumb and they go to light. They will drop in drinks. I've seen it plenty of times sitting at the fire around here, and they go into your beer or something. Like this is what moths do.
working.
It's working.
It's working. 100%.
How can you tell?
Because for me personally in my craft, moths have always been the symbol of like, this is working. Every time something really strong is happening or working really well, I always get a moth. The moth is like my devil kind of creature.
The proper word is familiar.
Moth just came up, went straight into the wine,
Yeah.
and then died next door.
Not good or bad?
I don't know. How do you guys feel?
I feel extremely nauseous and
Sometimes that happens. It's because you're kind of tapping into something, like I was saying to you, that's quite otherworldly. It's a different kind of energy.
Actually, it's a lot of psychology, but this particular girl has come with them on other ghost hunts, and she overreacts to everything, and they're really pushing her trying to become a medium now. I swear they like invent mediums in their clique of friends just by doing this crap. You know, she's all worked up, she's scared, she's whatever, and then they're feeding on that to try to encourage that she's psychic when she's just experiencing normal human emotion during ceremony she's never been a part of that's very different that maybe she's scared of, or a ghost hunt first time that she went with them that she never went on a ghost hunt before. There's nothing mystical going on with her.
The last part is reading sections from the petitions, and then we set these alight, which we could do all together. They're placed in the bowl, and once they're there, the ceremony is complete. I speak this to you, devil, which is Lord Keeper of the Gate and Crossroads. I do not beg, I stand here as always, with blood in your name and on my hands in the dark tonight. I ask your permission to open this space, to call the dead, to walk between the worlds under your gaze. Let your flame bless this circle and all involved. Let your voice speak through the silence. Let your shadow stretch long enough to keep all safe. Keep all safe. Keep all safe. And for the spirits of Pendle Hill, I call to the spirits who still walk the hill, the accused, the condemned, the feared, the forgotten. I know your pain. I know your power. I know what they tried to take from you, what they tried to bury away. Tonight, I do not ask you to forgive, but I ask you to rise. And I offer this space as yours, free from lies, free from chains. Come forward if you wish to speak tonight to these guys. Come close if you're ready to be seen, because no one's going to silence you here. So if we can all together come back into the circle, what we're going to do is there's four of us. Hot for you, hot for you.
Thank you.
Hot for you. We're going to close our eyes for a minute and just hold the paper between both the palms of our hands. Just feel it and connect with what I've just said. Then all together. In any way, I find it's quite easier when you roll it like this. And then we're going to light them all together on his spark candle.
Jesus.
And Colby treating this like it's some dangerous thing and it's all evil, you know, it's against God and all this stuff. Like, it's a little offensive as well, to be honest. I cut out a lot of it, but he does this throughout the whole thing. He's like whispering and praying to Jesus while he's really far away, filming on, trying to make it look like 8mm or something, turn into some Blair Witch bull crap. Like, this whole thing is so performative and just, I don't know, I find it very offensive.
For you as well, while you're doing this, think of letting go of whatever you're going through. Just like letting it burn away. Okay. We're good to step outside the circle. And just take a moment. Focus on the flames. Once they bring themselves out.
Take a look at how much light is behind her. There's like big spotlights on them there. And then they're wondering why moths are flying around.
Take a moment. Focus on the flames. Once they bring themselves out, ceremony is complete. You guys are ready to explore.
We just completed the ritual, and we'd love to know if you're willing to give us some answers about the witches here on Pendle Hill.
Yes.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of back and forth.
Now we're doing the psychometry, whatever, psychic writing bullshit. This is just a grift. The person is sitting there writing out the answer. She's coming up with the answer. She'll say, oh, it's popping into my head. And even there's ones who truly believe that this is working. They truly believe that they're psychic, and they truly believe that they're channeling something. All that it is your damn imagination. And you're just writing down what pops into your head. It's your imagination. There's no devil talking to these guys through this girl here. Now we're going to watch her and she's going to write some more stuff. You see that picture frame is already broken here. Picture frame mirror, whatever. It is already broken here, and she's pressing on it to write, and then it cracks and stuff, and she's like, oh, that means he's mad. It's like it was already cracked and broken, and you're pressing down on it to write. Like, this is just, it's gonna break. Like, this is the laws of physics here. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is all just like a big show, and I don't really take her seriously. I think this is all BS. Some people said that they found her TikTok, and they do believe that she's a real witch after watching a bunch of her TikToks. I don't agree with this kind of witchcraft. I'm sorry, but like, I know there's witches out there that are based around like Christianity and the devil. Like, this is the stuff that got people killed in the first place. And the reason that I don't agree with this is because they're calling themselves just a witch, not a satanic witch. And they haven't done proper study and research to ensure that they're following like all the practices that other properly trained occult people do follow, which when we get to the Smurl video, and they had the Pythia priestess, she actually does follow the proper ways to do rituals. She actually does know all of her stuff really well. And the other reason I just don't really care for these kind of witches that aren't fully trained in everything and don't specify that they're satanic witches as well. I don't really care for them because I've noticed that they're spreading a lot of misinformation, and they are perpetuating the idea that all witches pray to the devil when the majority of us don't. We don't have anything to do with the Bible or God or Christianity. We follow old pagan deities. People weren't practicing witchcraft like this. If they were practicing anything, it was cunning folk, and it was like wise women, and you're just making and confirming them. And then now we're in like another satanic panic because of this stupid crap, you know? Like this is the stuff I really hate to see as a witch, because it's just further giving fuel to the fire. And yes, today, modern day and age, people can be Satanists, people can worship demons, they can do whatever they want. I just think that you should properly label yourself. Don't call yourself just a witch and call the devil the father of witches. No, you're a satanic witch, or maybe a Luciferian witch or something, but like make it clear that what you're practicing is not what other witches, the majority of witches, are practicing. What you're practicing is related to the devil and Satan, and there was witchcraft that existed before those concepts were invented. It's important to properly explain that, because, you know, if you're a Satanist, then own it. Why are you not owning the fact that you're a Satanist? People that own the fact that they're Satanists are ready to go up against, you know, Christians or whoever that want to fight them on their religion, and they're prepared for that battle because they've owned it and they're loud and proud about it, and that's great. But these people who don't own it and then try to hide behind the label witchcraft, and they don't make it clear that they're Satanists, that's my issue with people like this. Everyone thinks all witches are like this when it's not. It's actually, nowadays there's more that are younger that are doing this way, but before there wasn't that many that were doing like devil and demon stuff. And it's usually people who started off as Christians who were born into Christian households, and they think that this is the way you're supposed to do it. This stuff like frustrates me to no end.
These witches actually were speaking with you and trying to work with you. Were you, the devil, working with the witches of Pendle Hill? The moth is coming back. The moth is coming back. I literally thought this moth died.
Well, his answer to that question as well. Some yes, some no.
Okay, so they started the interview with her, and she was like, some of them I think were witches and some of them weren't witches. And then he just asked if any of them were working with the devil, working with you as the devil. And her answer to the question was some yes, some no, because she already has decided this, and she's answering the questions. She's just confirming what she already thinks personally. This is all just bullshit. And the moth coming back to life, the moth wasn't dead. Like, he didn't have any wine on him. He just knocked himself out. It happens with moths. They're dumb like that.
The devil to lame a man, to give him a stroke. Do you have that power that you could hurt people like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does the devil have the power to not only hurt, but actually take someone's life?
Yes.
Were the witches of 1612 actually attempting to murder their victims through the power of you, the devil?
Not all. And the glass smashed as I did that.
Not all.
I think that's like an important, yeah.
Not all of them.
Because it's smashed, it's like Angry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we don't want to be blamed.
Yeah, there is a lot of anger. He gets angry as well with the misconception of and the heavy focus on just his darkness, if that makes sense.
Are you angry with us or anyone specifically here in this room?
No.
Or is that true that you're mostly angry with misconception?
Yes.
Will you allow the spirits of the witches here of Pendle Hill to communicate with us tonight and clear up this confusion?
So yes, please see them.
Please see them.
Yeah.
Well, there's... Oh my god, there's two more coming over here. The one that was over there about the wine is right here.
It's not back alive.
You tell us to see these witches. Is there a specific...
There's lights and candles everywhere. Like, this is so stupid. The moth thing is so dumb. And in the Conjuring one that we'll take a look at too, a moth shows up with their lights and on their camera, and then they think it's the devil following them, which is what they'll probably keep riding on for the rest of life now. And I can't remember if I covered this, so I might be repeating myself in the next episode we're going to look at. But if she properly explained to them what a familiar was, then they wouldn't assume that every moth that comes near them is now the devil. Because a familiar is like personal to the witch, right? So if moths are her familiar, then they're for her. Moths following them around, that's not their familiar. That's not for them. But she didn't properly explain it because I don't think she understands the concept fully. And now they keep thinking that moths are chasing them around and it's the devil. But I don't know. I think these guys aren't this stupid. Maybe they are, but I think they're just doing it for the camera. But I don't know.
specific room or area here at the farmhouse or on Pendle Hill that we should go to communicate best with you?
Oh, smashed.
You or the spirits of the witches?
Upstairs and round.
The thing is going to smash eventually. It says here upstairs and round the back, and then they bring this into the Conjuring house in the next episode that we're going to take a look at too. This is just so stupid.
Round the back. I don't know what round the back means, but round the back.
For the witches that were actually using you and your power back in the day, what was their intention? They just want to show people their power, or do you think they were truly dark?
To hurt and to heal. Both.
To heal.
Balance. The ability to have both, I think.
What is the biggest misconception that people have about the devil?
That I'm all evil.
So what is your true intention if you say that you're not all evil?
Protection for those that need it.
And just a reminder, all the things that she's saying here, that she's writing in her book, she said that when they were introducing her. These are all her opinions and thoughts.
Roxanne here has pointed out multiple times tonight that if you see something specific that's going on with me and these sorts of rituals, can you enlighten us? What is it exactly that she is seeing?
You have a darker soul than most. Different spiritual awakening soon.
A different spiritual awakening soon.
Yeah, like she already said this about him before she started this. She's just writing down stuff that she already has an opinion of. Like, she already said these things. I don't believe any of this. Like, she's not channeling anybody. So it just kind of goes on like that. She just answers his questions with, it's essentially her opinions. It's nothing. And then they use a bunch of gadgets, and then the gadgets freak them out, and that's pretty much the rest of this whole thing. Oh, wait, no, wait. Hold on. There's a guy that... Okay, no. There's a guy that does a ceremony as well later in here. Oh, yeah, Dear 60. This man is ridiculous. So let's take a look at this. I don't know if he uses a voice changer or if they added that in editing as well. We'll get to it, but like, it's really bad. It's really bad.
We have been dealing with some very, very dark energies tonight, so...
Right, I forgot what this guy does, right? I think he's exorcising the devil or something to make sure that they don't attach to him. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
We are here to help banish those dark energies with our new friend Marco. How would you describe yourself? A witch?
A magician, not of the stage kind.
Okay, so this guy is actually accurate. A magician is what the practitioners in the Ars Goetia were. They're the ones who worked with demons.
More of the occult kind, right? Basically, what I'm going to do is called a banishing ritual, an exorcism maybe. And this comes particularly...
He's
what happened there?
Exorcisms.
I didn't know what I got myself into.
It's more about cleansing the energy, cleansing you guys that went through this investigation and cleansing the area around us, so we can actually maybe leave behind all sorts of whatever strange energies you guys went to Pendle Witch and Fates. Oops. ¡Abogados, caballeros! Soy ovale isquiros. Aristos.
Okay, so I think that they added that in editing, hopefully. Now, if he was an Arzgoetia magician, though, like Arzgoetia magicians don't really do exorcism or banishments. They call demons to do their bidding and then send them on their way. But they send them on their way by, like, they make a pact with them, and they trap them with symbols. And if he was doing anything with Arzgoetia and the magician stuff, there should have been symbols on the ground. I didn't see any of that. And yes, I am aware that there's different occult practitioners who call themselves magicians. There's ones that studied under different texts like Crowley and other offshoot religions, but all of them kind of started actually from the invention of the magician in the Ars Goetia, the Infernal Dictionary, all of that sort of stuff, the Lesser Key of Solomon, because an idea of a magician showed up in the medieval Renaissance era. And I understand that there's nuance to the different practitioners who call themselves magicians now, but it all kind of started from the medieval Renaissance era. But I'm just kind of nitpicking on this guy too, because like if you're trying to be taken seriously and if you're trying to say that you can wield this kind of power, then you should be doing some of the ceremony with it. Like there should be some symbolism on the ground, even a cloth that you can lay out that has different symbols and sigils and whatnot on it. He really doesn't do anything. He just kind of like makes a bunch of noises and then that's it. So it was unimpressive and it seemed a little silly. And actually, like their one guest there, the food reviewer friend of theirs that was with them, he just looked like he was laughing at him the whole time. So I thought that the end of this was really dumb, to be honest, and they should have left it out of the video because it kind of ruined it. All right, so let's move on to their last video of their Hell Month. Thank you guys for watching this one. Our last one in this series is going to be Sam and Colby at the incorrect Smurl's house, because, you know, they were on the wrong side, which most of you already know, but, you know, I made this video, I'm going to release it anyway. So check it out in a couple of days, but thank you guys for checking this one out. Also, please, if you guys could please hype this video and like and share it, comment. If you hit the share button too, apparently that's supposed to help as well with the algorithm. I'd really appreciate any help I can get right now as we're having a bit of issues from the channel. I would love any sort of support that you guys can give to the video. Any interaction does help the video do well in the algorithm. I just want to say as well, thank you to all the members and patrons and everyone who does support the channel as well financially. I really do appreciate it, and it does mean a lot, especially this time of the year when I'm struggling to get all the content done because of the fibro and the migraines. It's just really bad during the season change, and the fall season change is my worst one. So I do appreciate you guys with your memberships and everything, and it does mean a lot. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for joining me though, and have a good rest of your night. Bye! Okay.